Hi everyone, and welcome to tonight's late night General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps, especially gems such as this one. So let's get right to it. A lot of moving around, so we'll hopefully I have this in a good order. Let's hope. So at the hospital, Lucas and Brad, I love them, possibly married at the nurse's ball. Possibly, could that happen? And it was Lucas's idea. Like, I thought if that idea came up, it would definitely be Brad's idea. But no, it was Lucas's. And Brad feels that it would be impersonal, and Lucas is like, "Hey, I think it would bring us full circle because we started out. You proposed at the nurse's ball." And they decide, yeah, if we could get this done, we want to get married at the nurse's ball. And I'm just like so happy because that's what I wanted to happen. At the Metro Court, Hayden and Curtis have their heads together, and Nicholas interrupts with a court order. So, uh, oh, so apparently an appraiser asked Nicholas about his items, and that's when he went out and got the court order to stop her from selling anything. And Lucy grabs Dylan up somewhere else in the Metro Court, and she wants his performance to be amazing, and she thinks he's his girlfriend and wants her to join in. So Lucy asks him to post flyers around the Metro Court, and Dylan's like, "I had somewhere to be, but I guess I'm not doing that anymore because Lucy asked me to do something else." So Dylan wants Kiki to think about joining though, because he thinks it could be fun. So Lucy moseys on up to Nicholas, Hayden, and Curtis and wants to talk because that definitely wasn't a conversation already being had, right? So Curtis decides he doesn't need to be there for this conversation. So Lucy is asking Nicholas for his big donor check so everybody can follow suit. And he's like, "I don't have my checkbook." And she's like, "You can wire transfer. I'll give you the number." And he's like, "I don't want to do that. And I'll get it to you, just not right now." So Lucy brings up how her vote was the decisive vote in Nicholas's favor. And this should be a priority for him, and it's for such a good cause. And he says he will make sure she gets her annual contribution. And I was like, how are you going to do that? So Hayden realizes that he doesn't have enough money to cover the donation and asks him how things are. And that she has made this observation. It's not just like in her head. So she wants to talk about his finances, and she says he must have made millions on the ELQ transfer, and it was all profit because he didn't pay for the stock initially. So what happened? And she saw Diane leaving, so she knows Diane must have given him bad news. Nick leaves and reminds her the court order would send her to jail if she sells another thing. Curtis asks how the conversation went, and she only sees how this is going to affect her. She's like, "I didn't realize how bad Nicholas' finances were. Like, how, like, I'm not going to be able to get my money." So he can't believe that Nicholas had all his stuff itemized and knew everything that was in the house. And she's like, "Yeah, it all came from Russia. They left after or before the war, this, that, and the other thing." And Curtis didn't count on Nicholas knowing what was in his house. But if Hayden already knew about the itemized, well, maybe if she found that. I know, she knew that before. She should have known all this. Anyway, so she wishes she could leave town and not look back. At the appraiser, because Nicholas has brought the diamonds to an appraiser, and he wants discretion, and then the appraiser would have to report a stolen diamond, and Nicholas is like, "Well, then you would miss out on the sale. You know what, check it out and we'll see." Back at the hospital, Lucas and Brad ask Lucy if they can get married at the nurse's ball and have her officiate. You know she's gonna say yes, and of course she says yes. She's Lucy Coe. She's thrilled, and they're glad she's enthusiastic, but they want her to like take it down a notch just for right now because nobody knows yet, and they want to be the one to tell them. At the Freeman Clinic, Morgan isn't having any of Ava's manipulation, and Morgan says Kiki can tell her herself if she doesn't want him around. And I'm like, "Yes, Morgan, keep this up. You got this." Why is the strap for my shirt all weird? Not that you can even tell because everything's so freaky, staticky. So Ava calls him dangerous, and he's like, "Really? Me dangerous when, you're in her life?" And he acknowledges he wasn't with it at the pier, and she brings up how he kidnapped Kiki, but it's different now. Like, he got help for his condition. It's not like he's that person anymore. He's changed. So I don't think this is fair, because if you don't allow people to move on with their lives, then what's the point of them getting help, you know? So Kiki comes over and they talk, and she might be in the nurse's ball, and she asks if he knows when he's getting out, and he says soon, but I think he's secretly kind of scared of leaving a little bit. So he says that maybe they should leave things open between them when he gets out. So Ava did get in his head a little bit with hurting Kiki, even though he doesn't intend to. And Kiki says they both grown up a lot and they can take things slow, and she's happy to have him in her life in whatever sense. And she notices something has changed from the time they talked this morning. In San Juan, Puerto Rico, Sabrina's aunt arrives, and Sabrina's back, by the way. She tells Sabrina that her son is safe and Carlos is dead, and Sabrina is sad to hear about that. And she says running away with Carlos was a mistake, and she wants to go home to Port Charles. And apparently, Carlos left them with Marcos, who's his friend and Sabrina's aunt's son, and also involved in some shady business. So Marcos is not happy that they took the baby to the US. He was not aware that it was happening. So Sabrina promises, I'm sorry, it's late, and I don't want to pause. Shh, go to sleep. So not yet. After this video, go to sleep. It's very late. I have Misha on me. I'm very tired. Anyway, so my mom. Okay. Don't look at me like that. I have not been home since 8:20 this morning. Do that. Mean to your people. I'm not being mean. I'm telling them to go to sleep after this video because it's very late. The way you're yelling at them to sleep, it's like you're telling them to go to sleep now. No, I'm interested in their well-being. I love you guys. I want you to have enough rest. Okay, we need to move on. This video is gonna be like 15 minutes long. So Sabrina promises to keep quiet if she can leave. Marcos agrees, but she has to stay a little longer so he can set things up right away. And then he sends his mother away and tells her not to mention she's seen Sabrina. And Sabrina seems quite a bit suspicious of his motives, and so am I, quite honestly. So he closes and locks the door, and he has a gun. And I was right, and I'm not happy to be right. At Sunny's place, Sunny has made arrangements in San Juan, but Michael still wants to go himself. CARLY is not a fan of Michael going, and she thinks it could be a trap, and she also feels that Sabrina, all she did was use him, and she's treated him horribly, and he shouldn't be putting himself out on a limb for her. But Sunny heads off with Michael, and CARLY's not happy, to say the least. But CARLY and Sunny have this, like, really cute moment when Sunny wants a goodbye kiss, and CARLY's like, well, what if I say no? And he's like, well, it increase the chances of me coming home safe, and she's like, really? Like, you're gonna, so if you don't come home safe, it'll be bad. Like, and I'm like, it's small moments like this where I think, like, their marriage is really gonna stick this time. Like, I don't know, it's just so pure, you know? So Sunny tells Michael that he has an idea where Sabrina is, but he didn't want to say that in front of CARLY. So they have a destination, like, in San Juan. So Ava comes over for Avery, and CARLY tries to stop her, and she's like, well, Avery's not here, because apparently Avery's really not there. So she's with a play group with her sister, she has sisters, because Ava says Kiki didn't say anything, and CARLY's like, well, she has two other sisters, Jocelyn and Christina, and Ava's like, well, Jocelyn isn't related to Avery, and CARLY's like, well, a toddler doesn't really understand stepsister and sister, she just knows she loves Jocelyn the same way she loves Christina. So there you go. So Ava, like, is going on and on about this, like, whimsical playroom that she's having made for Avery, and all the furniture and everything, it's coming today. So it's probably better Avery isn't ready yet, because it gives the designer more time. So CARLY calls Max. And Ava also tells CARLY that they won't be seeing Avery after this. So CARLY calls Max, and she asks him to make sure the baby furniture doesn't make it to Ava's house. So Ava is mad that all the clothes she packed are still packed, like they didn't use anything. And she gets a call and apparently gets bad news, and CARLY's in the background, like, quite literally. On the plane to San Juan, Sunny briefs Michael on his connections in Puerto Rico and, like, how to act and all that. And now end scene. Woo! Hayden can't believe she might be poor. Oh, the humanity. The appraiser does want to do business, and apparently the number's good for now for Nicholas. Morgan says that nothing's changed. He says for them to get better, they should end them, and he doesn't want her seeing him anymore. And this is me talking. This may be what's best for both of them. Like, I know we've talked about that a lot. Like, they weren't exactly like my favorite couple, and like they really, I don't know. I mean, they were better, but when Morgan self-destructs, he really does. And when Kiki self-destructs, like, she really does too. So this separating may be what's best for them, but I don't like why it happened. Like, I don't like that Ava's the reason why it happened. And Kiki's angry, obviously, and she says, fine, she's done. And she doesn't care about him, and she's 100% done. Bye. Like, bye. And I can't blame her. You know, to her, it's just her being kicked to the curb again. And I'd have enough too, but this is like the third time. I'd have enough too. So apparently, get this, the delivery truck with Avery's crib had an accident. And Ava already donated Avery's crib to charity, so she doesn't have anywhere for Avery to sleep. So, you know, Ava's like, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you and Sonny were behind this. And Carly's like, well, I didn't even know you were coming over to how could so Ava leaves, but she will be back tomorrow with a social worker. But Carly is like ready for war. Like, she talks right into the camera and she's ready. Sabrina needs help, and this is the one time it takes more than 2 seconds to get somewhere. Sonny and Michael still on the plane, by the way. Sonny makes it known that he doesn't approve of Michael's relationship with Sabrina anymore because she ran off with Carlos, but he admires Michael's compassion for her, and Marco's like has a gun right up to Sabrina's head. So this is not good. This is quite literally really not good. So save Sabrina as long as you're gone. Save her. All right, thank you so much for watching today's late night video for General Hospital. Don't forget to vote for Character of the Week, and I will be back Monday for regular time videos. Yay! Well, until next Friday. Next Friday may be like a Saturday General Hospital recap because sounds like, oh no, Friday is going to be, I'm going to do it before I have to go out. Okay, don't worry about that. Friday's probably going to be on time, which is weird. So, yeah, I'll let you know more about Friday because that situation is still developing. But Monday, I will be on time, I think. Yeah, I should be on time. I'll let you know in the comments of this video if anything changes. All right, I hope you have a great day. Bye.